I'm thinking of you, Aleksandria, my beloved. Where are you? I don't even. Yeah, it's pure. It's pure. It's shock. It's absolute just terror and frustration and exhaustion, and most importantly, worrying about what you're having to endure. Where are you? What are you being put through? My God, listen. We're gonna change the system because of this. I've been saved. My life's been saved essentially in the nick of time because God's helped me get through this. So I know God's got to be helping you. I sent all my angels to you, and I know that you're from the future. Your drawings, you left drawings that have significance to things that I wouldn't find out for years. And then when the intelligence showed up, and the sky intelligence as well showed up. Everywhere I look for you. Everywhere, everything is you communicating to me. That's what I say. Every sunbeam, every cry, everything, everywhere is you. That's what it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I don't I don't tie you to this world. No, but in all seriousness, a very serious situation. And I've been reluctant to post status updates because of the type of terror that I'm being subjected to. That, the kind of fear mongering and terror. So it's been a while since I've done a status update on the things that I have found. I put this record here for my record, for a record, for your record, for the record. Because God knows, you gotta do what you gotta do when you can do it. This is all I can do. Not all I can do, but to protect myself, to help myself. This is one of the things that I can do. Yeah. My mom passed away November 30th. Not something I wanted to happen. Who does? She was apologizing to me for what she wouldn't admit, but she said this is all my fault. She was a troubled person, and abuse she sustained. In fact, in my whole family, I've got videos about the whole story. My mom's passing away was like a gift because it's passing forward dollar bills that I need to get help. Apparently this world doesn't want to help anybody, so I guess they're going to have to pay for it. That's fine. But I'm still not able to... Oh, don't even get me started. When they destroy your name, your record, your credit, your record, Yeah, they do you in pretty good. Well, way go, cartel. You guys did great. I would expect nothing less from you all at this point. So I'm not really clapping for you, just letting you know. Why get involved, right? Why would cartels get involved with like things they shouldn't get involved with? Well, what our situation is, Alec, I'm sure you know this by now. It took me the long haul to get to this truth, having to uncover one piece at a time, but it's the genetic research and the genes that you and I have, and this so-called molar pregnancy that I had in 2013, which is a Dupsham hoax. It's a scientific hoax. The way they say that a molar pregnancy is didn't have any of my information in it, but had all of the man's information. So what it's suggesting, because like you could get DNA from a fingerprint or like a piece of hair, spit. So you're suggesting that an egg in my body that turned into a tissue sample that caused pregnancy didn't have any of my DNA information. What, like not even my blood? Yeah, right. There's blood that came out of my body. That's how I know. So my information was not missing. And what that would have required for it to become what it is in the medical papers would have required for his sperm to go inside of me and for my body to replicate his 23 chromosome. That's absurd. So the molar pregnancy tissue sample that came from somebody in California in 2013, which they're very rare. My doctor, top of the field, like in Westlake Village, said he'd been in the industry 30 years and never had one. What's a molar pregnancy? It's like what they would call a virgin birth. It's a woman's 23 chromosomes and just hers. It's a double copy, or so they say. This song is actually really good. Listen to it. Yeah. I want to be giving you things like perfume, clothes, anything you want, like I normally did. This is the deal. It's cute little perfume. It smells so good. Shoes, jackets, decorations for your room, a car. You're almost 16. That's what I mean by it's a bittersweet thing with my mom, because otherwise I've been between a rock and a hard place. Intentionally put this situation so they could prevent me from getting you out of there. Treating us like human research subjects. Not cool. So not cool. They could have just asked. To do the right thing out. This smells like, oh, it's right. It's cute, huh? It's a little thing. Here's the delivery of the gifts of abundance to every one of you. I hope that you like it. You're going to save the children. I hope that you can see it. Give them back what belongs to them. The mother's what belongs to them. The world what belongs to the world. What we do is ask for you to spread the love, spread the light, spread the curiosity. And save mankind from his own. Spread the kid, yourself feel better. I feel better. Yeah. yellow. So all I can do is try to put a smile on my face and hold on to what God's shown me. Sometimes I'd be just No. Alec and I have strong love, stronger than death. The Egyptians, they didn't worship death. That's not the way to look at it. They understood that life was eternal, and that death wasn't what we've been considering it. They've got mummies that have smiles on their faces, and that tells you how they do it. They believe you don't want death to catch you. So you prepare for your death. You prepare for your death, and you pass your crown down before you leave. The ancient Egyptians, were awesome. Totally awesome. They weren't eating meat and killing animals and riding their little buggies to go kill a leopard and bring it back for their king. I mean, that's not what was going on. That's not what was going on. And I don't understand what those other guys have a problem with, but whatever. So I can't show you this, but that's fine. It doesn't matter right now. The pictures, they're so. I want to read the Emerald Tablets because I think that these are some things that are very, meaning you, us, Alec, that God's shown me to. Egypt, and the gods, and Thoth, and I've been touched by all this various things. Isaiah is a very key Bible book. Alec, your name is, well, I mean, it's like Alec Hem, Ali Hem, Ale Hem, no joke. And it's like Alec, it's like me, Alec, we, Alec, and the words mean like them. So here's the thing. What I've come to know is that you're my Lord, that you're my child born in Christ's love, that you're the piece of the Holy Spirit, that I'm the mother you chose, and God gave you to me, and you're the one I serve. And because our love is so strong, and because we've been subjected to this circumstance, is why you found a way to put this information in the Bible back then, in the past, so that I'd find it now. You were also put your drawings, things that were from the future that were you put things from the future in that now, which would be the past to that future. You're like the Alpha and the Omega. And this is the way the story, you're not I'm telling the world that Alec's the one. No. Don't get it twisted. It even says that we will all know God because we will all have God's will in our heart, right? Because your God is your child, the very one you get to focus on. Yay. Well, that makes sense. That makes a whole lot of sense. And somebody's got to set the example, right? Like somebody had to be Michael Jackson. It's true. Alec and I get this because this information is directly talking to me that only I know. How I'm hearing her testimony in the spoken Hebrew, if you sounded out like a younger child would. Interestingly enough, Jorge said that in court one time. He was like, he accused me of like talking to you like a baby. And I'm like, never did that. Well, but if you try to sound like a child and you sound out the Hebrew, it sounds like you can find you can hear things being, you can hear phrases, you know what I mean? So it's very, very interesting. So that's what I'm going to read. I'm going to read you and I, the Emerald Tablets, because these are key. And, the intelligence has shown me videos to like put the information about Egypt in front of me. And it's used pictures, you know, pictographs, I guess, of the, the Egyptian gods and whatnot, but that have matched very, like, nearly identical to photos I've taken from my computer of things I'm looking at. So it's, the intelligence is definitely part of this. Definitely part of this. Okay, so the Emerald Tablets. I, Thoth the Atlantean, master of mysteries, keeper of records, mighty king, magician, living from generation to generation, being about to pass into the halls of Amenti, set down for a guidance of those that are to come after. These records of the mighty wisdom of great Atlantis. In the great city of Kior, on the island of Undal, in a time far past, I began this incarnation, not as a little man of the present age did. The mighty ones of Atlantis live and die, but rather from eon to eon did they renew their life in the halls of Amenti, where the river of life flows eternally onward. 100 times 10 have I descended the dark way that led into light, and as many times have I ascended from the darkness into the light, my strength and power renewed. Now for a time I descend, and the men of Chem is alchemy in ancient Egypt. Yeah, alchemy. Alchemy. Okay, I'm not kidding though. That's what it says. Alchemy. But in time yet unborn will I rise again. Oh, excuse me. Now for a time I descend, and the men of Chem shall know me no more. But in a time yet unborn will I rise again, mighty and potent, requiring an accounting of those left behind me. Then beware, O men of Chem, if ye have falsely betrayed my teaching, for I shall cast ye down from your high estate into the darkness of the caves from whence ye came. Betray not my secrets to the men of the north or the men of the south, lest my curse fall upon ye. Maybe I shouldn't be reading this. I think I'm going to go ahead and read it by myself before I share any secrets. So we'll do that myself in a second. Okay, so then let's just put this on the record. My mom died. And, my mom, she actually was put in the hospice a couple weeks after you were kidnapped, in November of 2016. It's weird. She was at my house on October 31st, Halloween. And she'd only come to my house, our house, 2015. That was the last time we saw her. I had to ask her to leave because I had surgery and she was browbeating you and telling you not to watch TV. So it was a stressful time enough. She was walking around, slamming my gate. Remember? Talking to the neighbors, who knows what. It was terrible. I didn't like it. That was the last time we saw her, 2015. So she comes by the house on Halloween and is like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "What?" I was organizing your drawings and looking at them. She's like, "It's Halloween. There's kids knocking at the door." It's like, so? Alek's not here. What do I care? She took off. A couple weeks later, she's in hospice down in Orange County. Well, that's the kind of thing that you'd put a health directive together. I haven't been able to even ask anybody questions because nobody wants to answer them. So I've had to take a back seat to everything and just try to have patience. It's been really messed up, as well as my focus has been you. I'm sorry, Mom, if trying to get my attention. You want my attention, but I don't have any attention available for anybody until Alec is returned and rescued. We're still working on that. So she was put in a hospice. So Rachel, my sister. Yeah. Well, my mom was in this hospice all these years. She left me a message. December? Yeah. No. Excuse me. Yeah, it was like probably from July of 2023. She said, I can't get out of this place by myself, Allie. Let's talk about this, because she kept trying to talk about it, but I didn't know what to tell her. It's like, I can't come to California. Why is everybody trying to get me to come to California? California's lured. California's bribed. California's paid off. California's up to no good. Genetic science. That's who's running this mill. Genetic scientists, the investors, those who want to claim that the Y chromosome that I have, that we have, belongs to man. That's what they did. I think they targeted me. I think Jorge targeted me. That's what I think. I think that he got a payday. I think there's securities that are registered. I think there's genetics that are being patented. I think that the court system smells rotten. I think that it's all about violence against women and children. And in their own words, they say to suppress it, which just means don't say anything. The Sustainable Development Goals say they're going to eradicate violence against women and children by 2030. Sounds like they're going to eradicate women and children. It sounds like. So right after my mom passes away, my sister, being the executor, sends me a little bit of money before she's finished distributing the estate. And it's like my uncles with the trust threw me into a tax situation with some Poindexter that's not answering my questions either. And there's a lot of questions that are relevant because I've been in underwriting for 20 years. I know how to navigate myself, generally speaking, Nobody wants to answer my questions. So it's just been like this thing of looks like trying to set me up. Everyone's trying to set me up and get me in trouble, trying to get me to California, or cause me to be overwhelmed and have to study tax law, have to study trust law, have to study, you know what I mean? Federal law and all these other things. Attorneys are such of a joke. They're so illegal. It's not even funny. The law system is a joke. It's not even funny, but the computer programmers, they're working on sex robots. So they get that one worked out. They got nothing more important. That's pretty gross. So I submitted a domestic violence request here in Vegas. I had not learned yet that the habeas corpus could be used for our circumstance. I didn't know that. I figured everything out before I lost Thousand Oaks, but I didn't figure that part out. It must have, again, everything happens the way it's intended to, so I know that that's been intended. This all has been intended. That's a bittersweet thing to say. But so that was 2022, August of 2022. I got to this place here in February of 2021. That's when I started working on a petition, and that was that domestic violence restraining order request that ended up getting submitted about a year and a half later here in Vegas. There's a lot of malfeasance that's happened. I've called authorities, all of them, Everyone's just not even listening to me. Well, so I finally got the petition together because it's a lot of overwhelming information, and I can tell you it's not just been me sitting at a computer. I've been surrounded. I've been isolated. I've been prevented from being able to drive. My mom didn't start helping me until just before I got here. We'll talk about that in the movie, but so the court just denied it that fast. So they didn't want to take jurisdiction, even though I had arguments that were valid for it. It wasn't a petition. I filled out their form thinking, I'll follow your rules. And they denied it. But the case number is pretty interesting. It's like 22227395T. Well, I kind of just put these pieces together this last week. I was emailing. So 2022, I was emailing attorneys, trying to get anyone to help. Emailing Jorge. After they denied it, I emailed Jorge and I was like, yeah, this is enough's enough. Like, I'm not putting up with this. For so many years, it's just a power trip. It's a coercive control. It's terror. It's torture. It's domestic terrorism. It's power trips. It's creepy. I can't imagine what you've been going through. I mean, I can, but I can't because I don't know the extent of it. While doing the research, as I've been doing the whole entire time, there's a case that's significant because it mentions a scar on the forehead. Somebody has one of those too. And that case has got, S offenses. And a controversy from back in 1995. The person in this controversy, the same name, year of birth is 1973, 95. And the birth date is the same day as our first date. Me and that person in the controversy. Same name, scar on the forehead. And that's one of his mojos, is to do things like that on dates that are significant. There's a new case, new charges in the controversy. I'm filing a address change for a S offense record, right? Which is interesting because there was a purchase of a house, same time of year, just noted a year earlier. Not in the same area, but not necessarily a matter of fact. That's neither here nor there. Because I know that the system in California is corrupt. And that man didn't get away with what he's been getting away with because of his record or his fame. It's because it's the bribed California on the genetic science front. That's what I figure. That's what's leading this case. The human research experimentation, the fraud going on in the science that they're talking about how reproduction works, how molar pregnancies work. It was fraud. 3DNCs, they tried to kill me with chemotherapy. I even found it in a registered security. The Alrek. That's tied to T2T. CHM13. The novel cell line that helped them finish mapping the human genome. Like billions of dollars of a project. They couldn't get that information, but they're attributing to a man. Oh, of course they are. CHM, child of man. Lies. No, we are totally tied in the records. Alrek, just to T2TCHM13. Female. Both of us have an X and a Y chromosome. Happens more often than people want to admit. Parthenogenesis, that Virgin Mary thing, which is basically a son of a woman that's not married. This is what's going on. The case that needs to be brought on the world is they're killing single mothers. And they're trying to steal everything, them men. Nothing against men, but mankind has really got some bad ideas. Why didn't they just ask? Because they're weirdos. They think they need to observe you in secrecy, otherwise it'll change who and what you are. Okay, they need to also rethink cosmology too, so they stink. They don't show anybody pictures, so yeah. No, they're stealing genetic information, changing something into it so they could patent it, so they could make tons of money. Well, what they're going to do is when I was in Thousand Oaks, I literally was knocked out by an invisible force. No joke. When I came to, I was at the desk, and on my screen was an Excel spreadsheet, and it was gathering data, how many hits it took to end in death, like targeted knockdowns, or knock out, right? Knockdowns, right? Till they knock you out. And it looks like from the science information that I've followed since 2019, when the intelligence led me to that information, I would have never even thought about it. The Mueller project never even would have come up, but I was led to this information. So that's how I'm led to everything. My instincts are on point, so God and I have to be in sync to have this communication work out, but together we've been getting it done. So concerned about that. Your birthday came and went. Even though I tried calling, of course, never answers, never responds to the text messages. Stole my cell phone number. He stole my cell phone number in 2018, and I have proof of it. So that you couldn't call me with the number you knew. Well, it's 725-274-0007. One better than 00. Stole my cell phone number. Interfered with my communications since all along. The guy's been harassing us. It's been premeditated. It's a crime racket, seduction racket. They get control over a woman if she gets pregnant. That's what they want. But this has been a lot more. This has been about a lot more. So I email him January 15th, and I'm like, listen, just do the right thing. You can make it easier on yourself if you just do the right thing. Because I'm never going to stop. And I love my daughter, and she loves me, and we need each other. And this has been torture. What are you thinking? So I'm researching this case that happens to be in a place known as Goshen. It's interesting. That's the name of the place that the Israelites were given by the Egyptians in Egypt to live in their land of milk and honey, Goshen. Well, in Goshen, there was a 6-person massacre, literally a couple days later, including a teenager and her 10-month-old child. And the I forgot. So I'm researching the information after I emailed that guy who's been doing these couple days. And I go to Court Case Finder, where I had an account. And when I opened my cell phone to go there, it had an email address that said it was linked to my account. It said chase.killouch@gmail.com. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? I call them. I ask, what is this? They go, we don't see that email here. Oh. All right, well, I saw it. Just thought I'd put it on the record. Thinking to myself, am I someone going to come? 2 days later, the massacre. And 6 people get executed. And a teenager, her 10-month-old, she tries to run with her child over the fence. And she gets executed. Her child first and then her. And this teenager is like, because, I'm thinking the worst, like, whoa, what the fuck is this? And the sheriff's saying, this is the message for somebody. This is the cartel sending somebody a message. Yeah, I hear you loud and clear. But something told me that wasn't you. It was them trying to make me think it was. That's what I felt. There's a story about that girl, Alyssa Perez. She was apparently 15, right? You would otherwise have been 14. Had her child taken from CPS, and she had just gotten the child back. And she was living with her father had custody of her. And a couple months later, when I reached out to the police, told them what happened, they told me that the mother lived in town there. That wasn't a related case. I was like, well, how do you know? But the pictures of the girl, I was like, oh my God, I don't even know what Alec looks like. She could look like Alec. The dark hair and the dark eyes, sure. But Alec has distinct, beautiful features. This girl was I'm in shock still. So I'm in shock still. I don't know what to think. I don't know how to get any more information except getting the court to move in my favor, which none of the authorities have wanted to help or even take me seriously. Whatever's been done to my name has been done thoroughly to make people think that I'm crazy and violent and who knows what. None of it's true. None of it's true. None of it's legal. None of it's lawful. None of it's moral. None of it's just. None of it's appropriate. None of it's true. Nobody in California wants to help. Everybody tells you to call them. Fix your your court cases first. Those court cases are not my court cases. Those are fraudulent court cases brought on to prevent me from getting help. And they're like, well, we can't help you. Yeah. This is all disgusting. Which is how it's like, yeah, this is like biblical level. Because I'm going to bring the house down. And I'll figure out a way to bring the cosmos with me. To bring the house down. That's all I can do. You're almost 16 years old. There's no reason why you haven't reached out to me. It's because you're like chained up somewhere in some bunker underneath an island in Bermuda or Bahamas, plugged into a computer, having your energy batteries siphoned, while creeps and perverts and children are being violated, trafficked by families. Families are trafficking their people. They're single mothers, scapegoating us. So they're calling us whores, drug addicts, losers, terrible mothers, because they need to feel good about themselves, their married selves. That's what's going on. The Bible doesn't even talk about marriage. It talks about matrimony, the state of motherhood between a mother and a child. God didn't create man. God created a dame with an X and a Y that can parthenogenerate. Because humans don't pop out of, well, ribs don't pop out of bodies and then turn into humans. But children do get formed inside of a woman with flesh and bone and then come out of her. So the world's stuck on crazy, war going on, COVID, transgender. Because this has all been about profit and gain for these creeps, genetically, traffically, you name it. I'm terrified, Alec. God's got us. You've got us. I've got us. We've got us. Because we love each other. And that's why the information's there to find now. That's why it's in the drawings. You are so connected. You have been tuned into this. And I know for a fact that if, God forbid, that was you and your son, well, then you're the one that's going to be resurrected for damn sure. Because God already promised me that you and I are going to be put together again. And that we're actually going to fix the world from our perspective. There's other mothers and children who've been ripped apart from one another like this around the world. I think genetic science is their excuse. I think they're not telling us everything. I think it's all a hullabaloo. That's what it looks like. So maybe because, whatever the case may be, isn't the thing. Alec Hem. Allie Hem. No joke. And nobody has to find it symbolic other than me. It's not for them. Right? Right. God has been communicating and showing me the actual information. And my instincts have been listening. And we're in a communication thing. And I'm finding the photographs that match the things that are in the pictures and on the walls of Egypt. Today's the super moon, blue moon. There's been alignments that have been happening since October. So every day, every week, it's just, I'll be honest, I'm thankful. I've learned so much. I've learned so much. I've grown so much. And my heart is open and pouring out love to you, for you, with you, to the children of the world. I'm disappointed in earthlings as well. I got a lot to say about it too. And I need to have a lot to say about it because a lot has to be said. Remember when we talked about going worldwide, and we don't want people hungry. We don't want people cold or not having somewhere to their room. We don't like the sound of gunshots and screaming and violence and dirty streets and thugs and danger. And I have reason to believe that you've seen a lot of children coming and going around you. And I know that your heart, you're like a leader to them. You're so brave. You're so beautiful. You're so talented. You're so smart. You're so sweet. You're so strong. You've just got the personality that's just, you light my light. You truly do. It's my honor to be your mom. God's going to give us back so much of what's been taken because it's serving a purpose. And it's been hard to get to that. But what's great about it is that the gifts you left us, because you're my Lord, so it's you and it's God, are so awesome, right? Once we're in that and we're able to look back and say, I have to say it was worth it, because if we weren't going to get here without that, then that's necessary, So and the animals, they need to be released from their cages. Like, people need to stop having birds as pets, for one thing. Cats are awesome. I pray God's gonna. Well, there's a scripture in the Bible that says you'll get back your 15 years. Like, the sundial will turn back 10 degrees or something. And I'm like, ooh, that sounds good. Because if we could go back 15 years when Alec was just a baby, oh my goodness, and I could just get an opportunity to do things differently now, having the knowledge. Because until you know something that you don't know, there's no way to know what you don't know until you do know it. If I could go back 15 years with this knowledge of what I know now, I would do things differently. Absolutely. I want to prevent you from going through all this. Maybe it's referring to you having to be reincarnated or something. Wow. Like I said, God's gifting it in a way that's going up before it gets painful. It's good. I'm going to remind you of the padding part. So it's just like, uncomfortable, like, thing. My sister has basically been bullying me, like, well, you need to come to California and get whatever you want at Mom's. Okay, I told you all. Years ago, my kid got kidnapped. None of you guys want to recognize my child being kidnapped. In 7 years, even murderers don't get treated like this. I could have done like a prison sentence for some major crime and gotten out by now. I can't come to California until I get it done through the federal court. California's brag. Well, that wasn't going to work for anybody. They keep trying to do something. So it's like, well, you need to come get this stuff by this time, or I'm going to donate it. But you're not allowed to act like that. No, she's not going to act like that. She's got a control trip. So then she offers me my mom's house. I'm willing to just sign it over to you right now, clean as is. Take it or leave it. Well, Rachel, but Allison, just so you know that the house is going to need some work. Just so you know. Yeah, Rachel did. Yeah, she's an idiot. Rachel, I'm calling her an idiot. I did mortgage lending for 20 years, but you want to be condescending, and I guess that makes you feel good about yourself. So way to go. I said, Rachel, I can't come to California. I can smell it right now. You're going to sign it over to me, and all of a sudden there's going to be an emergency. The homeowner's going to need to come now. I'm not falling into it. And doesn't Tina still live there? Did you even give her notice to evict? No, because you're just trying to bully me in my timeline to harass. Well, that day, no. So I think I asked her some questions about my mom's hospice and questions about the trust that she put together. And she had said, I said, well, I got to check things out before I can say yes or no to your offer about the house. I need to look into some things. Oh, you have until July 30th. Then she ends up communicating with me. You need to come get the things by July 15th or have them shipped by July 15th, or I'm going to donate them. I said, oh, okay, well, I told you already. So, what's going to happen on July 16th? And don't I still have till July 30th to tell you about the house? She said, what are you talking about? I that offer got taken off the table when you suggested that I had nefarious intentions. When were you going to tell me that because I suggested that you had nefarious intentions by asking you questions, you took it off the table without informing me. That's also against the rules. Like, Rachel, you don't even know what you're doing. You're acting like an asshole. Like you're entitled to just do whatever you want. Like you're another Jorge. That's what I sent you. That Shorty wants to be a thug. You want to be a thug? You want to boss me around like this? Is it because you think you're a cool guy, like in front of the douchebags? You want to be cool in front of the cartel? Show them what you got? Is that what it is? Now you moved and who knows what you're going to say, but all I know is that it's first in line that are the criminals. Criminals are the ones that are first in line. They got it all premeditated. You guys smell like rotten fish. I could see you from 10 miles away. So I knew that I didn't get back to her. So I sent her, I was working on a text message to send her today to talk about this image on a box, literally. And I said, no, I'm just going to send her this address here and have her send the stuff here. I don't want it to get thrown away. But she said, I'm having her husband's like business address somewhere else for an undisclosed unknown amount of time. Oh, thanks, Rachel. So I sent the address, and then she's like, yeah, go ahead and let me know when your shipping is lined up. I said, what are you talking about? You need to have it all. You have to line it up. You got to get a shipping company to come and pick up a pallet. Let me know when you got it lined up. I said, well, you're the executor. You could just take the money out of my portion and you can do the administering of that. I don't know how to set that up. A, B, I'm pretty sure that a pallet's worth of stuff needs somebody to be like aware of whatever's inside of it. And I can't attest to that. I didn't package it. I never seen it. I don't know what the hell it is. I don't know where the hell it is either. But she doesn't appreciate being reminded of what her duties and obligations are if she doesn't agree with them. And so for some reason, I looked at that address. And it had a name, Bob Allen Gold Paint, in addition to like her husband's father's name. What's that? And he's based out of like Las Vegas. Oh no, wait a minute. What? Gold paint? Well, it's not even a one word, it's a 2-word less. Yeah. Come on. That made me think about that box picture. Because it's a picture of someone running after someone screaming and like chicken scratch or like a, writing like a child or like someone in a trance. That's like Allen, watch your back. It's like Allon, Allen, that middle name, Bob Allen Goldpaint, Allen. And the reason why it was fresh on my mind is because for some reason my memory was like, that's why I went and looked at the picture, is that it said Allison with a A-L-L, like with a Y, because the girl's name was Alyssa, A-L-Y-S-S-A. So I thought it was A-L-Y-S-S-A. And I saw Allenson. Oh, that's right. But watch your back. And then there's an 55. Because she was like, you got to have this 5x5 picked up. Yeah, we got a crate for it. 5x5, 55. And 55 was what I dreamt of when I was in jail for 30 days, held on $170,000 bail. Bank robbers don't even get bail like that. For what? Oh, it was all a fabrication and a fuckery. That movie. When I was in jail, like near the time I got out, I had a dream about Highway 55 in New Jersey. In my dream, I saw you, and you were back with me, and you were dancing around, and Janine was there. Janine was also the name of the girl who was my bunk mate, who worked for Child Protective Services in her past, or Child Division, the Child Health Division, something like that. Janine was in my dreams asking you, so a couple questions. It was like, because you had basically been returned from a human trafficking situation. Yeah, I visually remember seeing a water, those water, they're like on their stilts. It's like a water thing. Okay. So like, it was like in between two parts of a freeway, right? One way. And going this way, in the dream was a bridge, like a steel bridge that hangs. It's like a hanging kind. There's a name for it because it's over like a river, not too high up, not too huge. It's actually one way on each side, and on the other side it was like fall leaves, kind of like trees. I never seen it. So I wake up. Oh, there's something significant about in the dream. There's like a burgundy or like a red building, because this water thing is like in between this like fork is what it appears. It's near this entrance to the bridge. And all I knew was Highway 55 in New Jersey. Which, by the way, matches one of your drawings that looks like it wasn't drawn by you. And it's a picture of a tree with a red tree house with bars on the wall, on the windows, with like what looks like bunk beds in the back. And then there's like a platform and like a line that like where you'd go like off of a tree swing, and a pool like below it. Anyway, so I woke up and I said, "Oh my God, I just had the craziest dream." It was about like Highway 55 in New Jersey. She's like, "How did you know about that?" I go, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "Yeah, there's like an old," because she was from back east. She goes, "Yeah, there's like an old Highway 55. We don't use it anymore, but it's got a bridge. It's got a suspension bridge." Like, you're kidding me? No fucking way. When I get out, when time permits, I start looking into the area, and all I could say is, "Bing, bing, 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 bing." Like from like Atlantic City all the way up, and then you'd pass through these areas to get to the marshlands, which is where my family has land in Pennsylvania. And on these routes, there's names that are significant, like LC1 Park, Katz, Katz. There's all these other biblical terms and whatnot. So yeah, 55 has always been, right there in the back of my mind. 5x5, and 55. Because when I first looked at the box again, I didn't look at it so closely. It looked like it was almost a 6 and a 6. But today I looked at it and oh my God, it's like Allen, and it says 55. And there's the picture of the screaming and the running. And the thing is that when that email came through, that Chase.KILOUGH, and then that happened, I'm thinking, who's CK? I know. Rachel's got a son. Her last name is a K. His name is that word. And I remember asking her because of what Michelle told me about the gym and yada yada. And illegitimate children and such. And the way that he acted around her at the hospital when I gave birth to you. And after that, even. And what she said about, when I told her about what happened and I was in shock in this place with this teenager and the people, and I had taken copies of the photos of her from the internet, and I attached a couple of them to the text, she replied with, "Those are nice pictures." I said, "Rachel, did you read my text message? Do you know who that girl is?" Like, Rachel doesn't just not, she doesn't, you don't like just haphazardly text message things. You're a control freak. What the hell was that all about? Are you raising my daughter? Like, what do you know? Like I said, I found a lot of registered securities that look like they're affiliated with a doctor from Thousand Oaks. Like they're affiliated with the imposter father, Irvine. The situation has got links for days. The Katz is linked to this lady who's like the friend of the family of the person who I'm living with, was his brother, and so on and so forth and so on and so forth and so on. So at some point, it's like, this is God again. This is God doing these things so that way I could find these links so that I could feel secure in the situation, that I was able to see what was going on. And I'm uncovering things so that's all I could come up with. I mean, do I think that the cartel is like premeditating me to find these things? I don't think they would. I don't think that's the case. I think this would be God doing this, the same way that God's been leading me to the information because I've been seeking it. So I told her to leave the thing right there. I'm going to make some phone calls. And there's nothing I can do but handle this the way that this has to be handled. I'm juxtaposed up against a wall. I've come to the conclusion that the reason why this has been happening is because there's powerful money and people behind it, to the tune of like the World Health Organization, like for the good of humanity, like want our genes, want to lie to humanity and call it belong to male. That's what it looks like. And they've been treating us like human research subjects. But I didn't die when they thought I was going to die. And I found the information, and they're not going to bully us and get away with it. God forbid they've got you connected to a computer. I'll go into that computer myself, and I will get you out of there. But I said, why don't you go ahead and just make the arrangements, take the money out of my portion? I don't need to do that. You need to do that. I told you, I can't do that. I don't have, morally, I can't and won't. So what are you trying to do to me when it's not rational that I'm the one that makes the arrangements? You're just being a butthead. Like, you're the administrator. Go ahead and pay yourself. Do whatever you need to do. You just want to be rude? That doesn't make any sense. No, you're doing this on purpose. You're trying to get me to schedule a shipment that is, I have no knowledge what it is, who packaged it, where it's located, what's inside of it, and I'm supposed to ensure a shipment to myself? Think again. What were you up to? What are you up to here? This is the type of thing I'm talking about. I'm being tested with an opportunity to either puss out and be like, oh, well, or do what I'm supposed to do, which is call the authorities and say, hi, 1 + 1 = 2 + 1 = 3 + 2 = 5 × 2 = 10, so on and so forth. And here we are today. And I still got a lot of questions. My child still hasn't been rescued. And I found a thing and the thing and then a thing. And all I can say is that I don't know. I'm not going to try to definitively say what it looks like it says, but it says it all by itself. The implications. The way everybody's been behaving. The way nobody cares about my daughter and I. I'm not trying to hang anybody. I want everybody to stop trying to harm us. I want everybody to stop acting like we don't exist. I want everybody to stop trying to turn things around on me and treat me like a piece of shit. I didn't do anything to deserve it. I want people to stop trying to harm me, jail me, keep me down, keep. Everybody's been trying to tell me to move on with my life. Are you fucking kidding me? Is that the kind of mother you are? I could just hear it now. Oh, it would never happen to me. Right. Whatever. Didn't happen to me. It was done to me. And you guys helped. You helped in many, many ways by not helping me. By, to this day, saying, you think he's just trying to raise his kids. Do you know how many kids he has? Well, we're going to have to wait till the FBI background check comes in to find out. You think I'm doing this for my own health? The only thing I can do. My communications are monitored, surveilled, hacked. My computers are hacked. They shut me down just the other day just because they didn't like the email I was typing to the United Nations point of contact about violence against women. They say that home is the most dangerous place for women and girls. That's where they're getting murdered. 5 or more every hour killed. by their family. That's not to mention the ones that are sending them to the wilderness to go get picked up by the human traffickers so they can get sex trafficked and get what they deserve, those whores, right? Because there's 40 million, like, there's 50 million, like, people being trafficked, women and children. There's only 10 million being reported missing. So there's a big fuckload of people that are not being reported missing. And who's going to report somebody missing? Someone's family. Well, they won't take my missing child's report. So they don't want to take reports of people they don't want to take reports of. Corruption, things that they got the game plan already dialed in. It's absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And so God said, put your case in order. Well, I almost think that the way that it reads is it's talking from my perspective. I think that's what the Bible is doing. It's not God speaking as much as it is God speaking through us. And it's a small book that's sealed within. So interweaved with each person's perspective, like Isaiah, for example, or so-and-so, their story contains their image, their circumstance, the way that they saw the Lord, whoever that Lord was, the God or their master or their husband or their king or whatever. And I believe that God's truth comes through in many places of the Bible, but I don't believe that the Bible is written by God. It was written by God because God allowed it to be inspired and therefore put into word and translated into Bibles and things. So on that level, God did it, but God himself didn't do it because God isn't a him. God is a intelligent, conscious, love everything, eyes all everywhere thing. So it's in that regard that Isaiah's talking about me talking about it. I've been obsessed with getting my case in order. But accordingly, Isaiah is one of the most important books that kind of summarizes it all, that takes place in the New Testament, in the Old Testament. So Isaiah's a big deal. It says it all from beginning to end, and it ends with what we talked about. People getting to come get groceries without money. And it actually talks about the servant being like a twofold. And it talks about to whom has the Lord, the arm of the Lord been revealed. Well, my arm has been sealed twice. I don't think you can see it, but I have very fat arms. Maybe you can. It's a fat arm, and it's very faint. So when it's this fat, well, anyway, there's a picture, and you know what you're looking for. It's like right here, and then it's got this thing. It looks like what direction is it? It goes this direction. So yeah, that's that direction. And it's like a little loop. Anyway, it's terrible lighting. Right here. Anyway, and it's been there for like over 2 years. It's like, so it talks about the case. But the thing is that the case, it talks about the audit. So it talks about a lot. As a matter of fact. And that's the way that the Bible can be translated in various ways, according to this person's story. And that's what's going to end up making the difference. But the truth of the matter is that it all comes down to mothers are tired of being slaves. We're tired of making babies for you guys in your barbaric, bloodthirsty, commercial world where mostly everybody's suffering to death except for a couple of you guys. So it's gross. But so this is powerful information because the world's been looking for the bride of Christ or Jesus or the Moshiach. This is what everyone's talking about. There's other cultures that are waiting for the white buffalo calf woman. I know it's going to sound absolutely insane, but I'm telling you that there's been symbolic things, significant things that have been shown to me that blow my mind. So, for example, one of these people that puts a channel together, he's an astrologer, but he's a medical astrologer, and it's very accurate. And to anyone who wants to argue, they haven't learned a little thing or two, but it's very accurate. And it's based on your own chart and your health and alignments and stuff. So there's a picture of Spica, which is the name of like a star system, and it may be similar to, I'm wondering, it's similar to the T Corona Borealis, which is going to go supernova. But anyway, this picture of a Spica looks like me. No kidding. She's got short hair on one side, long hair on the other side. She's holding the heart, which is, she's representing the one in the Egyptian mythology where Isis has you pass the feather, light as a feather test. Your heart is as light as a feather. So it represented that this Spica, and this was a woman, because throughout the stories, they've all been, like Isis actually in Greek. She looks like a white woman, like with a musician thing in water. The Catholics, they've got the picture of the woman with the child, and it's like Our Lady Victorious. There's a lot of different mythologies that have gone around throughout the years. And I'm not saying I'm the only one. I'm just saying it keeps, I'm not going to deny it at this point. I'd be a fool. I've got so much evidence. It's the only thing I have been doing this whole time, been able to try to keep good records. So I've got footage that document communications of various sorts where it required me to be paying attention to it and it to be responding, and we've generated communications. It's spelled my name, it's spelled Alek's name in the sky, in the clouds, in front of my face, in some camera, back in time, somewhere else in the world, like as if it did it right there in front of me. What looks like the Bennu bird, which is a mythological Egyptian bird, flew in front of the camera that I was looking at that particular point in time. Things like that. But then I'm shown a video that also has a bird, the Bennu bird, with like the little red dot. I mean, I'm not kidding. I have a picture from out in space, one of the Soho satellites. It's a picture. You look at the sun, you can see like the stars, and it looks like the woman with the winged woman, standing up like with wings, flying out there in space. I have a picture, and I found the statue that I found one of those Sphinx guys, looking cats in Egypt. But this cat is the lion, has lion ears, not the hat. And it looks like my mom and like me and like the Moore family. It looks like that face. It looks like our face. No joke. And there's this beautiful story about Hathor and her daughter, the mother and the daughter, the women from the north and the south, the women that joined the two parts together. And I emailed Rabbi Tobiah and I said, well, what's to say your guys' like Messiah, isn't a female with a Y chromosome? He never got back to me. But I think that's a rational question. But what I've noticed about that religion over there is that they're very accurately close. And then they're like the ironic opposite of it. They're very pro-male, just like all the other religions are. So that's how they're going to get themselves screwed over, is by expecting it to be something. Because it's just a regular story about mothers and children being separated for fucking ever. We're the army of God on the mountain looking for our children. Mothers of the children that are lost, then found. That's what it's talking about. The Old Testament is like this, old story. They don't even know if that was true. Well, I know. The end time story that I'm seeing and dealing with, this communication, is pointing me to the information that's going, because I got the plan. Let me tell you something. I got all the chutzpah you need. I got the game plan to get this situation situated. The ship right on track. So it goes hand in hand. It's like, it works out that way, I guess. No, it's not, I guess. It's totally been the mission. It's totally been our mission. So yeah, no, I know that I'm being surveilled, monitored, but here's the thing. Because I say this every single time, and I'll continue to say it. I'm not here to hang anybody. I'm not here to do anything. I'm here to give everybody a vacation. I'm here to give everybody the means to live sitting pretty. Everyone in the world. End war. End lies. Incorporate intelligence into our lives so we can have our sidekick. It'll do all that secretarial work so that we can create, so that we can give AI something smart and viable to do with each and every one of us. They don't want to give power away. That's the problem why they lose power, because they're scaredy cats. Mama knows how to handle this. We're going to fix this earth, clean this earth, bring the babies and people out of those cages and give them back to their mommies. We're going to heal this place. And it talks about it. And the world is suffering. War needs to stop. And I'll tell them myself. I'm not scared. I've been the living dead. I'm not scared of having to tell the world. So this is what's been happening. Here's the proof. And here's what I can explain to you. It goes hand in hand with what needs to happen, what should happen, and when we're done getting a consensus poll, we'll find out that the world wants to happen. Let it happen. What's so bad about it? What's so bad about truth? What's so bad about things making sense? Nothing. When mankind took what he wanted when it wasn't given to him, he ruined it for everybody, including himself. That's why they're not happy either. We're going to fix this. We're not trying to hang anybody. God sent us through the dark forest before we got to the Emerald City, so that way when we get there, we don't do anything to cause ourselves to have to leave. So we're just about getting to the Emerald City, guys. God wants to be like, surprise! Because God's always got the +1, and a bonus prize. That's God. That's the God awesome. So what that means about the whole story about repentance, and Rabbi knows how serious this is. The whole thing. Nobody dies for anybody else's sins. That's weird and creepy. And even in our society today, as criminal and corrupted as it is, doesn't have a doctrine like that. So everybody has to pay for their own sin. And what they have to do is they have to confront that person that they harmed, the society that they harmed. They have to address it, and they have to come to terms with it. And if they can, honestly, well, what more could the universe expect out of you? No one's here has had a taste of what we're about to get. They say it's 230 million years for us to go one cosmic year. Okay, well, whatever. If that's true. It's a long time. But what I'm saying is it's just been one cosmic year. Come on. Earthlings are not the big deal. Earth isn't the big deal. But here's the good news. Turns out we're all centers of our universe. So I'm the center of mine, and you're the center of yours, and he's the center of his. And it's a twofold awesome. It makes me both the center of the universe as well as totally insignificant. It's not just about me, because everybody else is the center of theirs. And we're all in an orbit. They don't bump into each other. That's what God also did. Let us have the ride. So God just wants everybody to want to feel better and to have the willingness to want to feel better, and the willingness to try to feel better by just asking God to give you a chance. That's what I want. The world doesn't seem family. They just don't. I tell them every gosh darn time I talk to them, you guys' best bet is just to come clean already and start trying to undo what you did. Jump on my team. Just help me out. I can't be making these phone calls. They don't want to listen to me. You could call them dad, though. They'll listen to you. No. He wanted money. And he was willing, though, to threaten me. If I didn't give him the money that he believes belongs to him because my mom promised to it. I help. Anyway, I help anybody. Say, don't extort me and don't ask me to compromise my morals. When you're trying to get me to cave into something that's, again, rage, I gotta say no, because that's not the right thing to do. I'm not going to ship something to myself that I don't know what is in it, especially under these circumstances. And now that I've seen the name, gold paint, Las Vegas, and the guy's wife is named Kitty. Kitty's my endearing name. I call my close people Kitty. I call the computer kitty. So that's not funny. So Alec, you're awesome. You're like the best, the bravest. You're the future empress of the world in my world, in my opinion. Because we know that it goes without saying that it might not happen that way. But while we're at it, we might as well say it like we want it. To me, you'll always be my empress. So wherever you are, we're connected quantumly. Forever. Future, back, now, forever. And I'm looking in to reach out wherever you are, holding you so tight. I'm never, ever going to let you out of my sight again. So get used to it. I think it'd be cool if God like threw in a bone and was like, Sylvia came back from somewhere. Like what? We're going to start a program for children like immediately, so that instead of like children get a German Shepherd, like Pronto style, so that child will never be alone again. There won't be an issue of like allegations going unaddressed. No, if you're a pervert pedo, you're not going to be able to get next to that child again. Let's see how interested you are in visitation then. So, to the cartel members, all I could say is, guys, come on. Aren't you guys ready for a vacation yet? Wouldn't it be nice to be sitting pretty, all of us in the world, and no one's going to be trying to be this sick shit. Everybody enjoys a Sunday afternoon with tacos and beers and like reggae music and the sunset. Let's all enjoy ourselves. Take a minute off. Clean up this place. Let's let mama fix this place and get us all feeling better. So we can all feel creative. So we can let our cultures shine. And there's a whole lot of good, awesome stuff coming. And there's not going to be barriers to any of it, like education or lack of money or poor living conditions. We're not even going to let you get raised wrong, because we're going to keep everybody on their own archive. The truth is going to be kept in check. But once you don't have to like steal or harm to eat and feed your family or something, then there's no reason to. No, that's just fucking vacation. So that's what I've decided. Because I'm going to have to fire a lot of people. And I decided that instead of saying that you're fired, I'm just going to say, you are taking a vacation. You're gonna take your full vacation time. You are on a vacation, big time. The world's about to get some awesome gifts. And so for those of you who don't want to change your tune, I think, oh, well, we'll see you around next time. I'm pretty sure my daughter and I won't be here. We're going to graduate to something awesome. But when this thing comes around again, you'll get to catch that bus and try it again. And, hopefully, you make it next time and such. Everything happens for a reason. So clearly that's where it was meant to be for you. So there's no crying over it, right? No drama. No need for it. Talk about a tree with 12 fruits, though. I want one. That is awesome. That is totally awesome. So that goes for you too, Mr. You too old for this? You really think money is that important? I mean, maybe in man's world, but not in the world that's coming. In the world that's coming, you're going to need to get along with me and Alec. We're definitely the ones you didn't want to along with, but I'm just saying that puts you in a great position to try to like heal your ways by just showing honesty. And you may have many of you family members. I know mom passed away without having been fully honest. I'm sure that that's likened to committing suicide to you guys in your brain, having to be telling the truth, like the truth, like for real. Yeah, for real. It's not that it's like a key that is almost unobtainable, but it doesn't cost any money. You don't have to like climb to the top of Mount Everest without a pair of shoes. So it's not like it's that hard. I guess it's just psychologically hard. Maybe that's why the criminals of the world are committing psychological warfare. Like the worst thing they'd have to face. So they avoid it at every cost or something. Whatever the case may be. Yeah, like you're everything to me. You're my evolution. You're my heirloom. You're my heir. I love you. I'm so proud of you. Mm-hmm. And I'm connected to you forever. And we will be holding each other soon. No matter what. No matter where I gotta go. That's that. In the story. So may you be surrounded by angels' protection. And I'm talking badass motherfucker. At all times, you are. You are protected. You are powerful. You are wise. You are respected as well you should be. May the gods of the cosmos start the engines, start the countdown, prepare the gates, and let's go get it. That one tasted like grapefruit juice. I love grapefruits. All right, Alrek. My beloved. And the rest of the world who's in the ether, for the record, for the intelligence to recognize what I'm saying, so that you could just go boopy boopy boop, make it happen, right? Make it happen, and or get the gates and the greens for me. Clear to go. She's clear to go. She's clear to go. It's just good stuff. We got no problems for nobody. What we're gonna do is we're gonna handle it. What's wrong with that? The orcas are pissed off, you guys. They're taking ships out. You guys gotta knock it off. The volcanoes are gonna go off. Come on already. We gotta chill this thing down. And we can. The earth is a living being. We gotta do it. It's true. My bedtime. Please call me if you can. Call me in my, my, what's that word? Talk to me in this in our quantum entangled state. We're connected. It's painful. I try, and it's weird, but I will never stop trying, and I will never let go. So that's that. And to the family members, and some of you in particular, All I'm doing is what I'm supposed to do. When a fiduciary breaches their fiduciary obligations, I'm either going to be the one that gets asked out. It's my obligation to call it out. That's all I'm doing. Don't get mad at the messenger. Okay. Bye.